Hello, and welcome to The Blind Potato. This horror story is uploaded by Reddit user CIAHerpes. If you want to learn more about the author, link in the description. The title of this next story is I Died and Woke Up in Hell. I Found a Way Out. Before we start, I would just like to invite you to please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you won't miss any of my future uploads. So, get comfy and let's begin. As I took over the body of the teenager, a sense of euphoria and exhilaration filled me. I had escaped from hell. I looked around the cemetery, frowning, scanning the mind of the child I possessed. I gained his name, Kurt, and his address. Among other critical information, I found myself in Maine, in the absolute middle of nowhere, but it would have to do. The friend stared at me with wide eyes, clear anxiety marring his expression. "You don't look good at all, man," he said. "You look pale as shit all of a sudden." My body wavered and I tripped, nearly falling before the friend grabbed my arm and steadied me. Scanning the mind of the kid, I found the name of his friend. "Thanks, Andre," I said. "Maybe it was just something I ate. A little touch of food poisoning or something. I guess I really don't feel that good. I'm just going to head home." Andre nodded seriously at me. "I'll pick up the Ouija board and candles and everything," he said. "Too bad we didn't get to see anything supernatural happen, huh?" "Yeah, too bad," I said, walking away. If only he knew. Out of the corner of my eye, as I started walking down the side of the road, under the street lights, I saw the silhouette of an angel, like the ones I had seen torturing people in hell. Its wings spread out massively behind it, 20 feet in each direction, softly swaying to and fro like a flag in a slight breeze. But when I turned my eyes to look directly at it, there was nothing there besides an ancient oak tree with countless branches reaching up to the moonlit sky. "My eyes are playing tricks on me," I said to myself. Then I remembered the horrifying thousand voices of the angel as it turned its empty space of a face towards me. How it had said to me, "You will always return to us in the end." I shuddered. It felt like it had been staring directly into my soul, judging me and finding me wanting. I had never done psychedelic drugs in my life, but I felt like I was on what I imagined LSD or peyote to feel like. I kept seeing figures out of the corner of my eyes, shadows running across the street, faces in the trees, and eyes staring out from the surrounding forest. But whenever I turned my attention to them, they disappeared. It was like something was mocking me, always staying directly out of the view of the center of my vision, but playing games on the periphery instead. The ground began to tremble, as if an earthquake were starting. I heard running from behind me, and turned to see Andre standing there, sweating and out of breath. "God, did you just feel that?" he said, his eyes widening with fear. "I think we're having an earthquake. We don't have earthquakes in fucking Maine. What the hell is going on right now?" He was right. When Maine had earthquakes, they were generally so small no one felt them. But right now, it was just getting more and more intense. Trees began to fall in the forest, the smashing branches creating an echoing cacophony that blotted out of all Andre's words afterwards. I saw his lips moving, but I couldn't hear anything besides the crashing of the earth, the collapsing of crypts in the nearby cemetery, and trees continuously breaking apart. All of a sudden, I felt a whooshing sensation and heard deafening crashes inches away to my left. A massive pine tree branch crashed into the ground, its smaller branches slicing up my shirt and back as it fell. At that moment, Kurt and I began to run to the only open area that was close, the cemetery. It seemed the only place where we wouldn't get crushed to death by falling trees and branches. We didn't even have to speak to each other, but both sprinted in a blind panic, breathing hard, my heart beating out of my chest. The shaking behind us was getting so bad that the road was starting to crack. We sprinted as fast as we could, nearly tripping a few times as the pavement heaved and split around us, and more branches fell in the distance. The forest around us sounded like it was coming apart. I heard alarms going off in the distance, first car alarms, and then the wailing of a tornado siren from the center of downtown. People were definitely waking up, noticing something was very wrong, and I had a feeling it was all my fault. As we ran into the cemetery, I first began to see for certain that this was not a normal earthquake. Hands were reaching out of the ground, some skeletal, others with some flesh still hanging onto their cracking bones. I could see the muscles and tendons of those closest as they moved with frantic energy and unbelievable speed, shoveling dirt away and ripping a hole open. As they emerged from underneath, crypts flew open as bodies bashed through the doors with superhuman strength, sending shards of stone flying in all directions. From the eyes of every corpse, I could see pure blackness, just like the blackness of the faces of the angels who controlled hell. The blackness was piercing, shimmering, beyond any simple absence of light. It was as if a hole was actually ripping in reality, right where the eyes of the corpses should be, and all of the hundreds of them stared directly at me, ignoring Andre completely. Then, in an instant, the shaking stopped. The silence was deafening and eerie in the aftermath of such a cataclysm. All I could hear was the ringing in my ears and the pounding of my heart. "You will return to us," the corpse in front of me shrieked, his voice sounding like thousands of deep, distorted voices overlapping. He was a half-decomposed elderly man in an expensive Armani suit, strands of white hair still hanging to the papery skin of his skull, his teeth and the muscles of his jaw showing through the decayed holes in his cheeks as he spoke. "Do you need more rope to hang yourself with, sinner? You will not accept your fate? You dare take the body of an innocent child just to fulfill your own selfish desires and try to escape the fate that you deserve?" Another corpse began to move in from my right, a young woman who looked much fresher but had a massive bullet hole through her forehead. Otherwise, she almost could have still been alive. Yet, she spoke with the same voice of the other corpse, the cacophony of many beings blending their vocalizations together almost, but not completely in sync. Her screaming was so loud, I felt my chest vibrating, my heart thudding painfully in my chest as the corpses closed in around me. "Haven't you done enough, Jay? You are rotted from the inside. Only hell will purify your evil. Return to us. Give up the body of the child now." I felt around Kurt's pockets, having only one idea to get out of this situation. I knew I couldn't return with him, and in his right pocket, I found what I knew would be there, a pocket knife. Grabbing Andre quickly, I flicked open the knife and put it to his throat. "Stand the fuck back!" I screamed as loud as I could, my throat hurting from the sheer force of my yelling. The circle of corpses stopped moving in on me, but my heart was still beating too fast, my hands trembling so badly, I thought I might drop the knife on the ground. I wanted to throw up, but I managed to avoid it. "I'm serious right now. I will fucking kill this kid right in front of you all if you don't let me go." "Have you gone so far down, Jay?" the elderly man said to me in the voice of an angel. "You know you must return to us eventually. Why accumulate more evil to repay? Your kind never learns. But you're not a stupid man. You must know we cannot allow you to stay here in the body of this innocent boy." He shook his head, almost like a disappointed parent. My hand shook so bad that I sliced Andre's skin slightly. Andre yelped, and a few drops of blood ran down his neck. "Kurt, what the fuck, man?" he whispered to me. "Let me go, this is crazy. You don't have to do this. I don't know what's going on, but..." "I'm not Kurt," I said. "I possessed him during your little ritual with the Ouija board, but I'm not him, and I'm not going back to hell. No way. Andre, you have no idea what these things do to people there. They pour lead down their throats. They hang them from every pole on the street. They burn them and cut them and torment them. Then when their victims are too used up, they buried in the field, where they're healed and come out of some massive eggplant just to do it all over again. How can anyone expect me to go back there? That's totally insane. I would rather die. At that moment, a fleet of police cars and ambulances started to drive by. Their lights flashing, but their sirens off since there was no traffic out here. But they slammed on their brakes once they saw the massive crowd of people standing in the cemetery. The cop in the front car got out, looking confused. Then he saw that the people standing around us were not really people at all, with their decomposing bodies, black eyes, and skeletal figures, and his jaw fell open. "Holy shit," he whispered. More cops got out behind him, all of them looking confused. Some pulled out their guns and started screaming orders at the walking bodies, while others got back in their cars and locked the doors, staring out in horror, unsure of what to do. Some of them called for backup on their radios. One cop got in his car and drove away like a madman, swerving between the ambulances and other police cars in front of him, his sirens now blaring. He looked like he was screaming inside the car, and I think he flipped us off as he sped away. I suppressed the sudden urge to start laughing hysterically at this absurd scene. If I started laughing now, I might never stop. I felt like I was losing my mind under all the stress. I don't know who started it, but one of the cops fired his gun as a few of the corpses started walking towards them, and all hell started breaking loose. The circle of corpses rushed at the police, and then all of the police started firing at once. The gunshots made my ears ring, and I heard a few bullets smash into the crypts and tombstones immediately to my left, whizzing right next to my head and chest. I let Andre go and ran for my life. I don't know if he made it out of there or not. He might be dead for all I know. I scanned Kurt's mind and found his house. He was only 14, and so, of course, lived with his parents. But I needed a place to rest and think, and that was the only one nearby. I ran to the house, running up the stairs without speaking to anyone and locking the door behind me. Shaking, shivering, sick with fear and worry, I lay down on the bed and started to cry for myself and everything I had lost. I thought about my wife and my kid, my old life, and how much I missed all of them, and I started sobbing uncontrollably, the tears staining the pillow as I screamed into it in desperation and anger. As I write this up, I look out the windows and keep seeing the silhouettes of angels out of the corner of my eye, and now the ground feels like it is starting to shake. I think they're coming for me. I wonder if I should just keep running, or if I should just go with them to that sick place with the red clouds and the people constantly brought back to life just to be tortured all over again. I am thinking about taking Kurt's parents hostage if I need to. The angels don't seem to want to see innocents die, and that may be my only chance. I still have the pocket knife just in case, and there are plenty of bigger knives downstairs if I decide it necessary. Yet, the voice of the angel from the cemetery keeps repeating in my head. "Do you need more rope to hang yourself with, sinner?" If you enjoyed that horror story, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And click one of the videos here for more horror stories like that. And as usual, I'll see you again next time.